everybody, Eden here. Today I come to you guys with a new video, and today I thought that we would talk about all of the books that I could remember that I finished reading in one day. So this list consists of 11 books. If I happen to remember any more books than the ones on this list, I might make a part 2 of this video later on. This list is a mix of different genres because there's some middle grade, there's some romance, there's some sci-fi, there's some historical fiction, some contemporary. It's a little bit of everything, which makes this list so much more fun. So the first book I'm going to talk about is one of my more recent reads, and that is Sunkissed by Casey West. I actually ended up reading this one in July. Casey West is one of my favorite authors. I've read like, I don't know, like 10 books of her or something like that, like almost all of the ones she has published, and she's one of my autobi authors. I love her. It's contemporary. It's a really quick read. I just flew through this one because it's like summer camp vibes, and you know, there's music and a band that's sort of off limits because the guy she falls for is actually working at this camp, so she's not allowed to fraternize with them, but you know, shit happens. Really good read. The second book is a historical fiction, and it's The Light in Hidden Places by Sharon Cameron. And this book, surprisingly enough, I just woke up one day literally and decided like, I really feel like reading this book, so I should read it, right? So I picked it up and I didn't put it down until I finished it. It was such a good read, and this one takes place during the Second World War, and we follow this girl who actually hides Jews in her attic, and then one day the Nazis come and commandeer her house, and they're trying to hide the fact that there's Jews hiding upstairs. So it was a really intense, sort of morbid, horrible read in a way, but it was so intriguing, and just wanted to know what happened, and so many close calls to say at least. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Number 3 on this list is a sci-fi book. It's also the thickest book on this list by far, but that is Obsidio by J. Christoph and Amy Kaufman, and this is a young adult sci-fi story. It's the third and final book in the Illuminate Files series, which is one of my favorite series. Also the series that really made me realize that I actually do like sci-fi, even though I still haven't really read that much in the genre. But basically, I don't want to spoil this book, it's the third book, so I'm just going to tell you about the first book, which is sort of a companion book. But yeah, in the first book we follow Ezra and Katie, and their planet is actually sort of invaded and attacked, and they have to escape, basically. And book 3 we follow a different character, but there's just some shit going on the planet they live at, and they're trying to fight back. Like, that's all I'm gonna say, because otherwise it's spoiling. But yeah, this is a really thick book. This was like almost, I think, 680-ish pages or something like that. But it's written in mixed media, so there's like chat vlogs, video footage and stuff like that, which makes it such a quick read because it's not a lot of text on every page. There's also illustrations throughout. So I just flew through it, even though it's such a thick book. Should I say contemporary with supernatural elements? Maybe. But this is the Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson, and this one I actually picked up like 2 years ago or something like that when I had the flu. I was really sick, kept on puking for 2 days straight, but when the puking finally stopped, I decided to pick up a book on my e-reader, and this happened to be the one. And let's just say the Undead Girl Gang are a bunch of zombies, and they are trying to figure out how they became zombies and why, and yeah, shit went down. And it was such a quick read, and I really liked the way Lily Anderson wrote the book and everything like that. A lot of shit happening, and I really enjoyed this book too. In overall, the reason I read these books so quickly is because I really enjoyed them. So the 5th book is Warrior of the Wild by Tricia Levenseller. This is a fantasy book, and basically a girl is sent out into the forest to kill this god as a punishment for something she did. That's all I'm gonna say. And then we have number 6 is Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Aaron Blake. I read this like 2 years ago. It's about a girl whose brother is accused of raping his girlfriend, also happens to be friend with the main character of the book, and she doesn't really want to believe that her brother would do something like that. And it's sort of the, you know, the crossing between wanting to believe your brother who says he didn't do it, and then the girl you're friends with who you know would never lie, or like, where do you stand? So it was really impactful read, really horrible read at the same time, but such a good book. And then we have a romance book, and that is the Wallflower Wager by Tessa Dare. And, you know, girl falls in love with a duke. This is like one of the very first like historical romance I read. I'd read like one or maybe the Bridgerton books and something else before, but yeah, this is such a quick read. I've read the first 3 books in the series. I think the 4th book is supposed to come out next year, but I really enjoyed it. And then we actually have a classic on this list, surprisingly enough, but it's a very short one. So in this one we have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. And basically, I don't want to spoil anything. Let's just say that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde are two very different people, behavior-wise. And then number 9 is An Offer from a Gentleman by Julia Quinn. This is one of the Bridgerton books, revolving around one of the Bridgerton siblings. That's all I'm gonna say. And then we have a middle grade, and that is that's Tima by Erin Hunter. This is one of the books in the Warrior series. I think it's the 6th and final book in the first series, which in Swedish is called Första Profetian. I got all of these books from the Swedish publisher years ago, and I love this series so much. I have read all of these books so quickly, like 2-3 days tops, but this was the one I did in one day. It's about cats surviving in the wild, and there's like rivaling cat gangs or whatever, and it's amazing, and I loved it. Especially the first series is the best. And then the 11th and last book is a book I read in July as well, so 2 books in 2 days. July, good. But this is the Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams, and this is a romance book, and basically we meet, I think his name was Gavin, and he's having troubles in his marriage. His wife actually wants to divorce him, and his friends actually invites him into the Bromance Book Club, where basically they read a romance book to figure out what went wrong with their own relationships, their own marriages, and how they might be able to repair the damage and maybe save their marriages. And yeah, it was a really quick read, very funny, but at the same time a lot of character growth, which I like. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. So yeah, those are all of the 11 books that I could remember. I have checked Goodreads a little bit too, that are finished in one day. Really quick reads, not necessarily short books, but just really quick reads that you can fly through, because I did. And yeah, if I end up reading more books this quickly, or if I remember something else I read this quickly, I will make a part 2 of this video, but that's long way down the road, I think. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below if you've ever finished a book in one day, and which book was it, how come you finished it so quickly. And yeah, I hope we see each other in the next one. Bye!